Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of Hype Nostalgia TV. So I guess we'll just get started. Adam, what's up? How's your week been?
Been busy, just working on music and doing video stuff like always. Anything new with you?
Yeah, learning the songs for the new album, learning those live, and that's been really interesting. And just kind of learning like how it's going to be, how it's going to feel playing live with you, which you make the song so much more dynamic. And so yeah, just trying to step it up.
Yeah, same. I've been doing a lot of that too because I've been writing even in the process of learning. So it's been fun.
Have you watched anything interesting this week or listened to anything extra remarkable?
Well, now doing this podcast series, I'm just like nostalgic. So I just have been going back and listening to a lot of like music that I got into probably like 2000s, or no, I guess it was early 2000s.
I've been watching Schitt's Creek, and that show is hilarious. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Kelsey got me into it. A lot of basketball. Been watching a lot of basketball, and I got a puppy, which is
You did. So cute. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. I'm really excited. His name is Rilke, and he's super cute. He's currently asleep, but maybe he'll make an appearance.
Get him on here at some point. I'll bring Chi on too.
Yes, all the animals.
Yeah, we'll just have a dog episode.
That sounds perfect. I think that would be really popular.
It would.
This is my third cup of coffee today. That's how this day has been. It's been actually a really great day. I've gotten a lot of things done. I'm mailing out the last of the orders for the t-shirts that we have, and I'm looking right now at a stack of at least like 25 orders. So I'm excited to do the second shipment. Like, we have people from all over. We have England, Arizona, Texas, Mexico, Canada. They're going everywhere. So that's cool.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We're working on the next merch drop as we speak. This segment is called Hype Insight. It is where we dissect a song off the new record, Hype Nostalgia, which is coming out September 25th. This week, we're going to talk about Free Throw, our second single featuring our dear friend Chris. It's produced by Wes Jones. This song was super fun to record. It was just the beat and a bass line that Wes had sent me, and I wrote to it, and he really kind of sent it as a joke almost. Like, he wasn't thinking like, oh, this is going to be like a ritual song. And instead I wrote to it at Bitchwave Studios like in one session and sent it back and was like adamant, like, we need to build on this. The song kind of had like 3 different variations, different tempos. There's 3 completely different tracks, and this was the one that we ended up with. And I knew that I wanted to have Chris on the track because of the lyrical content. And also Chris and I have been like, she's one of my best friends for years, and we've wanted to work together, but it just hasn't happened. And so we thought this would be the perfect time to like get her on a track. It's our first feature ever for Rituals of mine, which is pretty cool. It was so fun working with her in the studio. I realized that it was also our first time like in the studio together, and our dynamic was just so drastically different. Chris is like super creative. Just her like ideas are just popping out of her head. You can almost literally see it. And then me, which when someone is in that energy, I'm usually on the quieter side and the calmer side and just kind of like calculating like, okay, let's, how are we going to do this? The dynamic was really fun and just kind of all over the place. And we recorded the track and the vocals at Output Studios. And I love that studio space in downtown LA. But Adam, the track is already super heavy and hard, but you are taking it to a completely another level of brutalness. Can you talk about your approach to the song?
Definitely. And it's funny because this I love that you used the word brutal. I think I wrote to this song back in January, and I remember us like debating. I think Wes was kind of adamant on the tempo being shifted, and we were like, "Oh, no, no, no!" Just because it was just so heavy, and I don't know. It's one of the heaviest tracks I feel that we've done. Yeah, the whole influence. I was actually working a show. I think it was back in January, and it was like a 4-day run at SF Jazz where I worked, and the drummer was Lee Pearson. So I got to watch Lee Pearson for 2 shows a night for 4 days. And he had this clap stack. This thing was really weird looking, oddly shaped. It sounded like a clap. And honestly, a lot of the stacks, they never necessarily sounded like a clap. It was just kind of, some sort of an effect. But this sounded like straight up like a sample, like clap, you know? So it just got me thinking. And then this was the first song that I went out and bought a stack from Meinl. They sent it over and I started writing all this stuff to it. And that was like the first song where I started integrating this new idea of using this clap stack to basically imitate a lot of the sounds that Wes and Dev created. So that was fun.
I remember before you sent over your idea for Free Throw, you were talking about the stack. And I had no idea what you were talking about. I was just like, okay, I trusted you, obviously. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, do that. But I had no idea what that meant. And I remember when you sent it over, just being so hyped on how it sounded and how it just is such a perfect hybrid of like organic drums and the electronic sound. It's incredible. Are we going to hear a lot more of the stacks on the other tracks, do you think?
It's in everything new that I've written for sure. Yeah. So I mean, it's even to the point where I'm like rethinking. I'm like, okay, I almost need to integrate it into some of the old songs. So we'll work on that. But yeah, it was just cool because I was always, I mean, obviously I utilize cymbals, you know, crashes and rides and all that kind of stuff too. But I did really focus on like, you know, having electronic pads around me and actually sampling those claps. But it's been cool to kind of like rethink it and create it live. But yes, it's all over the new stuff. So
awesome.
I can't stop using it.
Our next guest is one of my best friends. We met when we were playing a show together in a renovated auto garage space back in my hometown, Sacramento, California. And I was blown away by her music and just by her person. Her name is Nico Turner. Not only is she an incredible artist and musician herself, she has played with just some of our favorite bands, Cat Power, Vincent Gallo, her project, her first project, VoicesVoices, just incredible. She's an amazing person, an incredible friend, and an inspiring artist. And we had a lot of fun talking to her. Get to know Nico Turner. She's amazing. And we had such an incredible time having this fantastic person on Hype Nostalgia TV. Nico!
Hi.
Oh, how are you?
Hi.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing fantastic. So happy to see your face.
So happy to see you guys.
Thank you so much for being our second guest for Hype Nostalgia TV.
Thank you for having me. I love you guys.
We wanted to start this series as a way, of course, to promote the record because Adam and I can't tour. I mean, no one can tour right now. But
Right.
we really wanted to create something to take us away from the storm that's happening in the world right now, at least for like having a brief reprieve to talk about nostalgia, the past, and just, you know, fun memories. I want to know, first question, what does nostalgia mean to you?
It means it's like looking back and feeling really good about things. I don't know, you know? It's like taking all the best moments and compiling them and having them. It's like a secret bag that you open to look through. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. I love the imagery of it being a bag or like a toolbox that you can open up anytime you want. Because that's how I view nostalgia too. Is I feel like it's one of my favorite things to do is daydream, and like I feel it's like a gift that we have that we can go back into our memories anytime that we want to, and it feels like a treasure chest sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Nico, is there any period in particular that's super nostalgic for you?
There's so many. The 90s definitely. But really, I find myself looking back on the early aughts. Is that what they're called? The early 2000s. That's when I met Tara. That's when I started my first real band and started touring. And there's just some really good stuff in there. The music was really exciting and felt really progressive, and like it was catching up. Like the technology was finally catching up to the sounds that I really love, you know? But yeah, definitely the 90s, of course. Like my room was covered in posters, and there were
Tell
different
us more.
Yeah.
Tell us more about your room. What did Nico Turner's teenage bedroom look like?
Well, there were eras of my bedroom. I had one bedroom in my like preteens it was just covered in like hip hop artist photos, like TLC and Immature and like I don't know, SWV and basketball players, and like I had the basketball hoop over my door, you know, so I could just like throw my dirty laundry in there. Just like floor to ceiling posters, you know how it goes.
Absolutely.
And then I stopped playing sports and I was like, I'm an artist. So I took all of that down, and I started buying really expensive movie posters, like the really big ones that they promote the films with. And I would like plan it out. And I had like Girl Interrupted, anything Angelina Jolie, any movie she was ever in, I had a poster for it somehow. Or any of the other lesbian films or slightly lesbian films, I somehow found posters for those too, and I plastered my walls. There's also like Nirvana and PJ Harvey and Tori Amos posters everywhere. So yeah,
I want to live in your teenage bedroom.
Oh,
all of them, and all the variations.
There was also a drum kit in there. It was really a special place.
Wow, I never even had a drum kit in my room. I'm jealous.
Yeah. I did have a drum set in my room. I didn't know how to play it, but I remember buying a drum set, I think from a thrift store. And
wow, that's cooler than mine.
It was cool. It was so cool. It just hung out in the corner right next to my inflatable neon green couch. And you guys remember the neon green inflatable aliens?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I wanted those things.
I had so many of them. I don't know why, but they were just like everywhere in my room.
I could relate to like the movie posters. What was the video store in the mall? No, it was like it was the actual store in the mall. It's like FYE,
Sam
but it was
Goody.
Was it Sam Goody? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my gosh.
I used to go into Sam Goody and get the like record posters and like movie posters because I knew somebody there, and they'd like, you know, they just after they
save them. I don't know how I did this, but like the skill in like finding the thing that I wanted in the store at the movie theater and being like, in a month, I'm going to ask them when they get rid of that if I can have it. And then I would like acquire all of this stuff to put up in my room. But yeah, Sam Goody. Wow.
Sam Goody. Yeah, it was the best way.
It was so awesome because you had to remember they had like those listening stations and you could get the record, make sure you liked it, and because it was a purchase back then, like albums were like $25-$30. Like what? So you better like that album if you're going to spend that much money.
Oh my gosh.
I miss the intention of going to a record shop and like finding, you know, discovering a new artist and just having your mind blown. And you could only afford one album. So you would just obsess over that one record for that week and examine it and look at the lyric books and study you know, every single note, because that was all, you know, that you had was that one record.
You're going to have it for like at least a month or something. Or it was like going to be the only one you listen to until the next artist released their record or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh. I miss it.
I miss it too. I keep trying to recreate it, but it's just, you know, it's not the same. I spend a lot of time making mixtapes from CDs, you know, and like I had like the 5 or 6 disc changer. So I would like, I really went to town and I'd like pause and there was like a whole rhythm to it. And I recently bought like a small CD tape boombox and like tried to recreate the feeling of making a mixtape, and it falls flat now. It's really not. It's really like an old timey thing at this point.
Do you remember? I don't know if you guys did this, but I did this. I would, and I'm sure maybe you did. I would sit in front of my boombox with a cassette tape and just wait for that song. You would just wait for your song to come on and hit record. And it would, you know, just for like those 2 or 3 minutes of like your favorite song, like just playing on the radio so that you could capture it on cassette tape was the highlight of your day.
Absolutely. Yes.
I still have mine.
Really?
Yeah. There's one tape. I think Blackstreet was the highlight for that.
Can you sing it?
No. Speaking of singing, I do have some really, really embarrassing. Also, I don't know if you guys have this, but I had a karaoke machine that had one terrible effect. It was like a flanger effect. So everything, and it was like a slight slap back delay. So you would talk and you'd be like, hi, 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 like on every word. And I would sing along to like Bone Thugs and Harmony, Mariah Carey, Boyz II Men. And I thought I was good. Like back then, just like rapping to Eazy-E, thinking that I was good.
What?
And,
like recordings?
Oh yeah. I'll text you one.
Please. I think I've told you this. Somewhere in the world, I don't have this, but somewhere amongst some things that have been lost in a box somewhere, there's a cassette tape of me rapping, because I wanted to be a rapper when I was like 7 to 9. Like I was really all about it. I had a name. I would like draw my name like graffiti style on all my books. You know you have to tell us what your name was. It was Lil Brat. Because I was obsessed with Dub Rat, you know? Like
I really can see this Lil Brat thriving right now.
Right?
I think you need to revive Lil Brat.
Should I braid my hair again? Like I had braids and everything.
Of course you should.
Oh man, that makes me think. I used to record like on cassette tapes, like interviews of myself. Like I was like, I would like pick somebody to interview or something. I forgot about that.
Wow.
So I could have interviewed Little Brat. That would have been great.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
I mean, actually, I am right now.
I know.
That's what we're doing.
It's right. I'm right here. She's
so
still
Adam,
in there.
Adam, like, would you just create people in your head to interview, or would you actually interview like family members or friends?
I think it started off as like family members and then like friends, but then I remember like doing voices and like it would just be me, but never that great at it. But I was always about like the little cassette and ripping stuff off a radio, and then like trying to always piece it together. Like even in the interview, like there'd be like music breaks. And, like, I'd have to like,
God,
you'd have to like hold the pause button down, and then like the commercial would stop, and you'd let go, and it would take it a minute, and it would like miss like a little part of the song. It's just like, I don't know. It's funny.
And you'd be like, "Welcome back with so and so on."
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yes, it is. We absolutely need to find one of those tapes so that we could use.
Can we cut? When we found one right now, we're cutting to it, and
No, I'll work on that. I'll work on that. It's got to be in the archives somewhere.
I have some embarrassing ones. I used to do the same thing, and I would even go so far as to making my own commercials. And I remember in particular, for some reason, I was obsessed with creating Kentucky Fried Chicken commercials. So, like, as a little kid, I'd be like, and we'll be right back. But first, a word from our sponsors. And then I would like change into a persona for Kentucky Fried Chicken and talk about wings and buckets of chicken.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why.
That's incredible. Do you have, I've moved around so much in my life, and I have boxes of things, like my belongings that exist in people's houses all over the place. Like Tara knows this, there's a whole garage full of my stuff from like 2011 that's still up there. Sadly, I'm so sorry, everybody. But do you ever go back to a place that has like a box of your stuff or some boxes of your things, and you don't take anything from the box, but you take pleasure, joy, whatever, going back into those boxes and just like looking through, like, this is the epitome of nostalgia, I think, like going through all of those things. And
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember even being a kid and having a box, and I still have it. It's a really old, dingy suitcase, and it's tiny. It's like this big, and the zipper's broken. But as a kid, I would hide it under my bed and like put like secret things. Yeah, exactly. Like things that I thought were just mine, like, like an Elvis trading card, and like my first pair of glasses, and my first note from my crush. And I still have that. And so now it's a part of a bigger box of like years from that time period, teenage years, early 20s. It's like the box that I cannot get rid of. Like, I want to get rid of everything but that one box. Like, if there was, God forbid, a fire or some other disaster, I would probably die trying to save that box.
Yeah, definitely. I have those as well. I'm always like, it's that box and maybe like, the animal that exists.
I still have it all in my storage right now. And it's crazy. Like, for whatever reason, as a kid, I saved things that maybe I thought like, oh, I'll want this later on in life. Because it's so crazy. I have stuff from when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Wow. Well, you actually did use it in your life recently, which is kind of amazing. I mean, I've kept things over the years that I'm like, somebody's going to want to see this one day, like this tells my story. And I really enjoyed that you brought some of those things out for your new record and like put them together and shared them with everyone. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you. It's funny because so by the time that we release this episode, our next single, a song called Exceptions, is coming out, and the video for that is actually based on my life. It's actually based on like my first crush as a child in my like childhood bedroom. And so we recreated my childhood bedroom for that video and actually used a lot of my actual items for it. And that was so surreal to see someone else interacting with my things, like another child interacting with my childhood items was pretty crazy. But then for the album cover, we did recreate my teenage bedroom because I wanted to go to a place, like so much stuff had happened from recording Devoted to this new album. Like so much pain had been caused. And I really I didn't want to create a sad record. I wanted us to create something that had that duality of like joy and pain. And so I was thinking like, how can we write from a pre-loss perspective? And it just immediately took me to Teenage Bedroom because I feel like, didn't you guys feel like we had so much time as teenagers? Like so much time, like limitless time.
Yeah. And endless potential and just like my dreams were huge, and I believed in all of them. I was like, yeah, and you created that little world where those things could exist and be safe, and like, you could be in that feeling. Yeah, magic. That's a magical place, the teenage bedroom.
It really is. It's something that I'm so grateful to be able to go back there at any time that I want to. And I think it's something that like I would never want to ever, I don't know, I feel like it's a superpower that we have that ability to kind of take ourselves out of what we're in and be able to go back to any kind of memory, whether it's, teenage bedroom or even just like a year ago, 2 years ago, childhood.
Yeah.
Who was your first celebrity crush, Nico?
I think about this often. It was either when I was a kid, it was Punky Brewster and Jennifer Connelly in Labyrinth.
Wow. Okay.
So I think I had like a type going there already. Like,
I love it. Okay. Adam?
Punky Brewster though.
Punky Brewster was hot. I don't know if that's so awkward, but she was at the time.
Yeah. Celebrity crush? Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
Oh man, I should have done the research. The bass player from A Perfect Circle.
Paz. We know Paz.
Yes. Obsessed with her. I remember like, when did that band come out? Like maybe 2001 or something like that. Yeah. But that was kind of like a later crush, but I just remember being like, one, obsessed with that band and obsessed with her. So,
I think my first celebrity crush was she wasn't the mom, but back then, like any woman over the age of like 15 was a mom. Who was the actress in Beetlejuice?
Oh, Gina Davis. Gina.
Yeah. I think I had a huge crush on her. And I also had a crush on, do you guys remember the movie? What was it? Like something Beverly Hills, like Girl Scout Beverly Hills or something.
Troop Beverly Hills. Troop. Girl Scout Beverly Hills.
Troop Beverly Hills. There was one little girl. Oh, this sounds so bad. I was a little girl who had another crush on a little girl at the time. It was one of the actresses on Troop Beverly Hills. I remember being like not knowing that it was a crush, but definitely being like having some butterflies.
Which one? Not Jenny Lewis. Wasn't Jenny Lewis in that movie?
Does she play Shelley Long's daughter? Because I think it was the daughter that I had a crush on.
Does she have red hair?
Maybe. I don't remember.
I mean, I've never seen this film. I just
my God.
I know.
You have to watch this film tonight. It's a classic.
Okay, I will.
I need to know her name. I will look up her name and we will put it in the comments when we put this episode out.
Can I talk about something?
Please.
Regarding, like you said, you should watch it tonight. And I'm like, wow, I can really do that. I don't have to go to Blockbuster and see if they have it, which was like my life. I lived at Blockbuster. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I found out that there's an Airbnb that is the last Blockbuster. And I feel like I want to live there again. I'm just saying.
It's in Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, how exciting was it when your parents told you, like, okay, we can go to Blockbuster, and you that was like the weekend plan, and you'd go to Blockbuster, and like I just remember that was it. That was like your whole weekend plan was like, we're going to Blockbuster.
I'm getting movies. 2 movies.
Yes, and popcorn.
Yeah.
And this is it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have a question. Do you think, I mean, yes, of course, streaming and technology today makes everything accessible. Like the fact that you actually can go watch Troop Beverly Hills tonight and see who my childhood crush was, like in an instant.
Right.
While that's really amazing, do you think it has having, you know, this accessibility, do you think that it's made us lose the magic and also just made things I don't know, less special?
Um, in a way, yeah. And it's, yeah, it's just, I feel like it's just harder to find, and you won't find it in the exact same way. But I think, you know, we were creating that magic. It's not like the box filled itself up, you know. I think it's in different moments, and it's maybe harder to see because we are so inundated with everything. Like yeah, like you said, I could probably watch any movie I wanted for the rest of my life if I stayed inside long enough, you know?
I feel like it's just given us like short attention spans. Not all of us, but like just because, you know, data is so immediate that I don't know, you don't have to go drive to Blockbuster or go to a listening station where there's two other people behind you trying to listen to a CD and you're like skimming the CD really quick to like, is this the one that I want? You know, like, I don't know. It's just, it's really cool that it's all at our fingertips, but then at the same time, I think it's been like this double-edged sword of like, now we just expect it to be immediate.
Yeah. And then we yell at our computers if like something hasn't downloaded in 0.15 seconds.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 0.5, 15. Whoa.
What do you mean Netflix isn't working? God.
Oh my gosh. That just happened the other night. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. You have Hulu. It's okay. Calm down.
I obviously, I want to talk about your music for a minute because you're an incredibly talented, not only an incredibly talented artist, but one of my favorite musicians. And so I want to ask you first, you've played in some pretty incredible acts that I know you grew up with, and I grew up on their music. You played with, you know, Cat Power, Sean Marshall, Vincent Gallo. Was it like, how was it to play on songs that you grew up with?
It was magical. Like I often look back on the moments of growing up with those artists and how much I admired them and wanted to emulate them. Like I wanted to dress like Vincent Gallo and sing like Cat Power, you know, like I just saw so much in them as they were so different from everything that I'd seen, you know? And I admired them so much. And it's just kind of magical to then find yourself in a room with those people and they're looking to you to like be a part of their creation and support them and their art. I'm still in disbelief. I'm really grateful for those experiences.
That is so cool. I was thinking about that. Just how surreal it must have been to be literally playing the beat on some of the songs that you like grew up with. That is so
I know. Well, I have these great stories of like, one of them happened with you. You had come to visit LA and I was like working this random job and we're going to an art show. And I was like, the new Cat Power record came out. Wouldn't it be so great if she needed a new band? And you were like, yeah. And I'm like, listen to this part. And we just like, it was just like this idea, this fun idea, this like imaginary thing. And then it was happening. And I have another story like that with Vincent Gallo where I went to his film screening when I was 17 and called my mother afterward. And I was like, I'm going to be his friend. And she's like, okay, relax, you know? And
you manifest those two things.
That's the thing that I missed about the bedroom, like the teenage bedroom scenario is like just imagining that anything is possible in your own space is I feel like it's so powerful. It's like the most powerful tool an artist has, is just to be able to sit down in their space, in the quiet of their space, and imagine anything that they want is possible. And that, I don't know, I think that's really special.
You just embodied what this entire podcast is about, or what we hope it would be about. So thank you. That's incredible. Yeah. I think we just have one more question left. This has been amazing. I feel like you are one of my best friends and your family, but I still feel like I learned so much about you.
I know, cool. Same. Yeah.
I have probably the most serious question that I'm going to ask you on this whole episode. Nico Turner, do you think Tupac is still alive?
I was literally, we talked about this, or like mentioned it to each other a couple months ago. And I talked to Sean about it, and I was like, he's alive for sure. He's in Cuba with, and she's like, and she brought up a good point. She's like, I don't think that he's still alive because, like, I wish he was for sure, but I don't think he is because he loves the people too much. Like, he has so much to say. How could he stay quiet about it? And I was like, yeah, probably.
That's true.
I mean, I hope he just comes back like some kind of, biblical figure and just like,
Tupac, if you're listening, please, we need you. We need you this year. Help us.
More than ever.
Please.
Okay, I lied. One more question and then we're going to let you go. All right. Skip It, Pogs, or Etch-a-Sketch?
Oh my gosh. Whoa, that's a whole other era. Okay. Pogs for sure. Pogs for sure. Yep. Whoa.
Slammers?
I'm glad to know. Yeah. I mean, come on. How many of those did you have?
So many. I would hustle kids. I would get in trouble in elementary school because I would gamble, and my teachers would get so mad at me.
Because you needed the best ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you needed like the thickest slammer. I remember.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That
did you ever wait? What else just to wrap things up? What else did you guys collect? Because I collected Pogs. I collected comic books and like superhero action cards or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would trade those.
I collected basketball cards and baseball cards. And I was weird. I was a weird kid. I loved Elvis. So I had everything Elvis, pillowcase Elvis, posters Elvis, Barbie dolls Elvis, literally anything that you could think of. It was Elvis.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Adam, what about you?
I mean, honestly, Nico, I'm on the same page. It was Pogs, comic books, toys. It's a lot of it was like superhero, like a lot of Batman, a lot of Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
Batman and Ninja Turtles. Yeah. I had the Ninja Turtles, but yeah.
Nico, we love you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time out to just talk about things that are, like, to me is pure joy. So thank you so much. I love you. Adam loves you. I'm speaking for you, Adam. And
I'm right here. No, seriously, thank you, Nico. We're so stoked to be able to do this.
Thank you for asking me to be a part of it. And I love chatting with you both. So
I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys for watching Hype Nostalgia TV. This was our second episode. We will be back next week with a fantastic guest that we can't quite tell you yet, but I think all of you will be very pleased. Adam, I've loved talking to you. I could do this all day. I miss you.
I miss you too. I'm so happy we get to do this. And yeah, next week's guest is nostalgic for me, to say it lightly. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'm really excited. So stick around next week.